Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name's Shadowwraith and today I'm going to be going over the 3 evil legendary legions in the Gondor at War book. Now, obviously this is not a top 3 because there are only 3 legendary legions for evil. That is so upsetting because I'm an evil player. I love the evil faction. They're so fun to play. And I got rather disappointed when I only see 3 compared to the 5 that could get. And I mean, I know it's all about Gondor, but come on. So yeah, but I will be doing it in order of from worst, in my opinion, to best, and this is from a competitive point of view. So what I would bring to an event, okay? Obviously, if you're only playing for the theme of it, sure, do whatever you want. They're all cool. They're all cool. Okay. So swiftly moving on, we've got the number 3 slot. 3rd place goes to the Grand Army of the South. Now, why are they in 3rd place? Well, I'll go over their restrictions, okay? You must always include Suladan, the Serpent Lord, or a Mimic War Leader. You may have both if you wish. Okay, that's fine, sure, I can live with that. Only Muhad hero models may lead Muhad warrior models, and at least 50% of the models of the Grand Army of the South must have the Haradrim keyword. Your force must include at least 1 Mimic model. That is why it is 3rd. Okay? The Mimics are cool, but they are not competitive. In my opinion, they are not. They are too expensive. Yeah, sure, you can kill a lot of stuff with it, but I find it incredibly easy to stop them. I can either chuck some chaff into them, and they can't do their trample, which is what they want to do, or I can make them run amok, or rampage, or whatever the official wording is. I'm going to say run amok, because they're an elephant. Yeah, you just need to do a wound to them, and they could run amok. And if you do a bunch of wounds to them, they could. There's so many things wrong with them. You can set it ablaze, and it can't do anything about it, and it will take damage pretty regularly because it's only like a 5+ to wound it each time. That's not counting wounding it with other things. There's too many things that can go wrong with it. You can still shoot people on the Howder. I mean, they got in the way. But if you don't pass the in the way and you get hit by a Avenger Bolt Thrower, there's not much you can do about it. You know? Goodbye, War Leader. So, moving on. What can you bring? Now, the list is quite long. You can pretty much bring everything. You can bring Suladan, the Serpent Lord, for 100 points. You can give him an Armoured Horse or Bow of Poison Arrows. 15 points for the Armoured Horse, 5 for the arrows. Rizal, the Fang of the Serpent, 75 points. Now, he's awesome. I'd definitely bring him because he can increase his fight value. Pick a hero, and they increase their fight value to him. And then he's got Bane of Kings, so he's rerolling all failed wounds against everything. So that's always good. And he's Strength 4 as well. And he's got a Spear, so he can support people. Then you've got the Haradrim King for 60 points. You give him a Horse for 10 points, Poison Arrow and Bow for 5, and a War Spear for 5. Nice. Haradrim Chieftain for 50 points, 10 points for the horse, 5 points for the poison arrows. And then Harashin for 80 points. Now, Harashin are awesome. They got Stalk Unseen. They got Bane of Kings. They're pretty awesome. They kill stuff pretty nice. And then you've got the War Mimic of Harad, sorry, at 275 points. And then you can give them a bunch of upgrades from Gnarled Hide to a Muhad Beastmaster Chieftain, Rock Sigils, Defense, Tusk Weapons, Foul Temperament, Ratplane Lines. I'd definitely give them Tusk Weapons. No point giving them Foul Temperament. Yeah, and Rocks are pretty solid as well. If you fill them up with something like Watches of Kana with a 3+ shoot value with Rocks, they're going to kill some stuff. It's only a 6-inch range, but still pretty good. You can chuck it down on whatever's stopping you from charging. And then you've got Haradrim Taskmaster for 50 points. You could get 3 heroic moves from him, pretty much, on a 4+. Then you've got Haradrim Warriors with all the upgrades you'd get in the normal book. Haradrim Raiders, which are awesome for all the normal upgrades you'd get in the normal book. Serpent Guard, which are okay. I don't really use them. Serpent Riders, again, don't really use them, but they're okay. The Mimic War Leader for 400 points. Ugh, that hurts. And then you've got the Muhad King with all the same upgrades, so you can have a War Camel for 10, Blowpipe and Poison Darts for 5, Shield for 5, and War Spear for 5. bringing him to 95, fully capped out. Muhad Tri's Master for 50 points, all the same upgrades, same points. And then War Mimic of Farharad, that is 300 points, but you come with some of the extra upgrades. Yeah, it's pretty much all the same upgrades. Muhad Warrior for 8 points, and they've got a banner, blowpipe with poison darts, and spear. The banner's obviously 25, and 1 point for the other two. And then you've got Muhad Raiders, which are awesome. 17 points, 25 points for a banner, and 1 point for poison darts, and a blowpipe, and 1 point for a war spear. Definitely give it a war spear at least. The blowpipe's pretty good as well, to be honest. They don't count with bows towards your bow limit, so yeah, sure, why not? 12-inch range, it's okay. And then half trolls. Half trolls are fantastic, absolutely fantastic. They're so tough. They've got 2 wounds. They're like strength ridiculous. They're fight 5. They're solid. They're 23 points though, which is quite steep, but they're worth it. 2-handed club, I wouldn't even bother. They're like, yeah, their strength is good enough. Their strength 5. I mean, sure, you can give 1 or 2 or a couple of them 2-handed, but then you're -1 to your dual rolls, and then is it worth it because you're fight 5? Who knows? It's up to you. I don't bother, but personal preference. Yeah, they're okay. Now, all because they're third does not mean they're rubbish, though. Now, you've got Hail of Poison Arrows, so basically every the Grand Army of the South can have 50% of its warriors armed with bows. That's really good, so all your Haradrim can have bows, basically. And then you've got Making of a King. Your army leader can declare a free heroic action at the start of the fight phase in which they engage in combat with the enemy leader. If the War Mimic leader is your leader, he may still use the ability whilst atop his Royal War Mimic. In the case, the Mimic will be affected as if he'd been declared as one heroic action. That's pretty good. That's really solid, actually. Really, really solid. So you can strike like for free if he's got strike. And I'm pretty sure he has. Yeah, he has. He's got March, Strike, Strength, and Challenge. So that's pretty solid, actually. But I'm more thinking heroic combat. Yeah, with Trample, that could be pretty nuts. Then all Mimics have the Harbinger of Evil special rule, so everyone is -1 courage within 12 inches. And then Warrior Pride. Muhad Warriors models that are within 6 of a friendly Muhad hero and engaged in combat automatically pass courage tests they are required to make. So that's alright. That's not a bad bonus to have. But this is where they get quite good. Basically, his War Mimic is better. It's +1 fight value, and it comes with Gnarled Hide, Sigils of Defense, and Tusk Weapons. So that's pretty nice. And then you can have 50-50, like you can have a mix of Haradrim warriors and Muhad warriors on the Howdah. That's quite nice. That's quite good. So you've got the shots for the Haradrim, so the bows, and then you've got, I mean, Muhad on it if you want. I'd probably just stick Haradrim on it because they're better at shooting. And they don't lose the army bonus or anything like that. But Imposing Presence. Basically, the first time an enemy model that declares a heroic move within 12 inches, you roll a d6. On a 4+, it's immediately cancelled and the might point is lost. That is so good. And you measure the range from the Mimic space. That is so good. He's got a standfast of 12 rather than 6, and warbands can be deployed within 12 inches rather than 6, even outside of the Howdah if they wish. There you go, that's really good. So you can have camels supporting this mighty beast. That's, yeah, and you measure from the base of the Mimic as well. So it's pretty solid. It's a pretty solid Legendary Legion. The only reason it's third is because I don't really like Mimics, but that Mimic is good. That is quite a good Mimic. 500 points. And I just want to see the Courage. Courage 6? That's not bad. To be honest, if you put a Warhorn, can you put a Warhorn in this list? If you can put a Warhorn in, just double check it. You can. You can have a Warhorn. And basically what that means is you can only run amok on a double 1 if there are no negative modifiers on your Mimic. That is pretty good. Yeah. But again, you are sinking 400 points into one model, which I do not ever like doing. So, swiftly moving on. It's quite a good one. I like it. But it's not as good as the other two. we have got the army of Gothmog. Now, the reason this is number 2 is because the number 1 slot I've seen used more, and it's just better in my opinion. But the restrictions for this one is you have to have Gothmog, obviously, it's in the name, and he's always the army leader. And he counts as being a hero of legend as part of this Legendary Legion. That is fantastic. He is 130 points, and you can give him a warg for 10 points, which you definitely want to do, and then 5 points for the shield. Up to you if you want to do that. And obviously, he comes with Master of Battle. Like, you don't have to roll, you just get it. So he's a solid hero anyway. Gothmog is awesome. And then you got Goroth, Captain of the Morannon, for 80 points, who is also pretty good. He's basically impossible to kill, because you could just shove friendly Mordor orcs in front of the attacks, and on a 2+, yeah, that orc takes a wound instead. It's pretty much, and yeah, it's pretty crazy. And he can still use Fate after that. He's only got 1, but still, that's pretty solid. Then you can have Goriz, Master of Reserves. Obviously, that sounds really good. And he basically does... he gives you a +1 or -1 modifier, so you can choose to increase or decrease your roll by 1 for reinforcement rolls. So for scenarios that you have to roll to see if they come on. And then when he is already on the board, all warbands get this benefit. So he gets it for his 1 initially, and then all warbands. So he's a really good bring to this list. 60 points, definitely worth it. Then you've got Gothmog's Enforcer, and he's really good as well. It's really hard to pick. You've got a lot of solid heroes you can bring here. Basically, if he's within 3 inches of Gothmog at the start of turn, you can spend 1 of his will points, and Gothmog can declare a heroic move instead of 1 of his own might points. That's really good. He's got Master of Battle, and he can do that. Absolutely bonkers. For 60 points. He's got 1 might, 3 will, and 1 fate, so he's not bad either. And then you got Zagdush, Orc Captain. Zagdush is okay. He's probably the weakest out of the lot, in my opinion. He comes with 3 might, which is awesome, which is almost worth bringing on its own. And he's got strike, but his rule is the weakest. At the start of the fight involving him, before all dice is rolled, you can choose to decrease his defense by 1 and increase his strength by 1. So he becomes strength 5. Not crazy. If it was +1 to wound, completely different matter. But +1 strength, I'm alright. And he's 60 points. And you look at 60 points for what all the others can do, yeah. Then you can bring in a Morannon Orc Captain for 50 points, 5 points for shield, 5 for 2-handed weapon. Orc Shaman, 50 points, 10 points for a warg, might as well. Orc Taskmaster for 50 points, Orc Drummer for 30 points, and then Orc Warriors with all the normal upgrades, so Banner, Orc Bow, Shield, Spear, 2-handed weapons, so 25 points for the Banner, 1 point for all the others. A Morannon Orc, 7 points, and he can have a Banner for 25, or Shield and Spear, 1 point each. A Mordor Troll, 100 points, 30 points if you want a War Drum that affects Mordor models. A Mordor Siege Bow for 50 points, it's quite good. Siege weapons are quite good. Yeah, you can pretty much bring everything, and then you can bring a Catapult as well for 160 points. So you've got access to pretty much everything. Now, his special rules, or these special rules you get for the Legendary Legion, are pretty bonkers. The Destruction of Men. The range of Gothmog's Age of Men is over special rule is increased to 12 inches. So basically, what that rule does... So basically, it's +1 to wound against man. So any models with the keyword of man, which is quite a lot of the good army, or good armies. And it's gone from 3 inches to 12. That's pretty nuts. And then additionally, the range of Gothmog's Time of the Orc has come special rule is increased to battlefield wide. So that's been increased from 12 inches to battlefield wide. All Orc models get to re-roll failed wounds. That is disgusting. That is absolutely not... If you've got everyone in combat, or most of the army in combat, and you pop them 2 off, you're gonna just decimate. That is... Yeah, that is absolutely crazy. So, you can see why I like this Legendary Legion. It is so strong. Yeah, pretty nuts. And how would you play it competitively? I'd just bring it depends how many points. If you're playing 1,000 points, obviously you want Gothmog and the reserves, the guy. So, is it Guritz? Yeah, Guritz. Bring him. And probably Gothmog's Enforcer. Yeah. Them 3. And then just spam orcs. I just chuck a bunch of orcs. If you want to troll, chuck one in. But just get so many orcs in. A mix of sword and board and spear and shield. Just get orcs in. And you can just decimate. That's so crazy. So yeah, that's it. Army of Gothmog, number 2. Now, moving on. Number 1. We have got the Black Gate Opens. And now this is number 1 because I have seen people do so well with it at events. I mean, I almost lost to it as well in a fight with my Warriors of the Dead Legendary Legion, Return of the King. But, I mean, I just did quite well. I got lucky, I think. So basically, your restrictions are you have to have a Mordor Troll Chieftain. And the Mordor Troll Chieftain counts as being a hero of valor and must be the leader. Yeah. Additional Mordor Troll Chieftains remain as normal. Now, you can bring the Mouth of Sauron for 70 points and an Armoured Horse for 15 points. You can bring the Mouth of Sauron if you want. 70 points. 15 points for Armoured Horse. He's okay. He's not great in combat. Fight 5, which is quite nice. Strength 4, Defense 6. 2 attacks, 2 wounds, Courage 5, 2 might. 4 will, 1 fate. He's okay. But yeah, he causes terror and he's got some magic. That's the only reason I bring him. For a bit of magic. So he's got Drain Courage, 12-inch range, 2+ cast. Transfix, 12-inch range, 3+ cast. And Instill Fear, 3-inch range, 5+. I'd bring him for the Transfix, not gonna lie. Transfix is such a good way to stop heroes in their tracks. Or other monsters, for example. So even if someone's bringing like Great Eagles, you whack that on an eagle and it's going to die pretty much. Like, if you get the right things into it, it's going to die. And then you can channel it as well. And yeah, because he's got Heroic March and Heroic Channeling. So yeah, he's worth bringing for that. I'd probably bring him. But this is where it gets wacky now. Mordor Troll Chieftain. Okay? He's 140 points. And he's going to be army leader. And of course, he's an awesome troll. He is Fight 7 with shoot value of 5+, Strength 7, Defense 8, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, Courage 4, 2 might, 1 will, 1 fate. And yeah, he's got Heroic Strike, which is disgusting. Fight 7 at Strength 7 that can do brutal power attacks with Strike is just absolutely bonkers. It's terrifying. Like, even Aragorn is scared of this. Because he's lower fight value originally, so if you roll a 1 on your strike to counter it, he's going to get higher than you. If he gets higher than you, you are pretty much going to die. He's going to either rend you to death or hurl you or just outright kill you. It's just disgusting. And he gets even better, but I'll get to the special rules in a moment. He's got Terror, and he can throw a stone, hitting on 5s of course, but his range of 12 and strength 8. Now that you can get a lucky shot off with this, sure, why not? Then you got the Morannon Orc Captain for 50 points, Shield 5 points, 200 Weapon 5 points. An Orc Captain, 40 points. You give him a Warg, which almost makes him better than the Morannon Orc Captain, just because he can have a mount. Orc Bow for 5 points, and a Shield for 5 points. And then you can bring Orc Warriors for 5 points. And they're 25 points for a banner, and 1 point each for a bow, a shield, a spear, or two-handed weapon. And then you've got the Morannon Orcs. Morannon Orcs are better, just because they've got an extra strength and an extra defense, and strength 4 makes a big difference, really big difference. So, I mean, something with defense 6, which quite a lot of things have, you're winning on 6s with a Orc Warrior, or 5s with a Morannon Orc. Yeah, that's pretty good, and they go up from defense 4 to defense 5 instead. So yeah, that's quite nice, and then you can give them a shield as well, so they're defense 6. So they're just tougher, but it's an extra 2 points. So it's up to you. And then you can bring a Mordor Troll for 100 points. And 30 points for a War Drum that affix Mordor models. Now, the special rules. This is where it gets dirty. The Mordor Troll Chieftain in your army, that is your leader, gains the Fearless special rule. And is your leader, gains the Fearless special rule. And an additional Might point, Will point, and a Fate point. So he's got 3 might, 2 will, and 2 fate for 140 points. That can do brutal power attacks. That is fight 7, strength 7. It's disgusting. That is so good. And then the other special rule is the Hordes of Mordor. Mordor orcs gain a +1 to wound in duels when they outnumber the opponent that they are in a fight with. That does not count supporting models, but that is insane as well. That is really good. And like I said, against hero heavy lists, you're going to be trapping a lot of things. So you'll be double attacks, +1 to wound if they don't roll a 6. But, I mean, you can still get, like, the troll in there as well. As long as you outnumber Boromir, for example, and you've got a troll chieftain and, like, a couple of orcs in there, your orcs are +1 to wound. And then you can rend Boromir. You're probably going to kill whatever you touch. That is so good. And competitive wise, yeah, it's really strong. You got a good mix. And what do you want to bring? Obviously, I'd probably bring the Mouth Sauron, Mordor Troll Chieftain, and as many orcs as you can, with like barebone captains just leading them, just to swamp. Chuck through a few Morannon orcs. I'd probably keep them as spear supports, just to keep them a little bit more safe, because you want your normal orcs getting killed instead of them. But yeah, just hoard it. Absolutely go for the horde of orcs with your troll chieftain. Yeah, and you can probably afford to chuck one more troll in there, or be really cheeky and have 2 troll chieftains. One of them will be your leader with the extra thing, but you know, 280 points for 2 monsters with might that are fight 7 on the battlefield and strike. Yeah, I'd take that. I would take that. Yeah, that's what I'd probably do. 2 of them, and then as many orcs as you can with the Mouth of Sauron. I mean, if you need captains at that point to fill up the warbands, take a bare bones captain or 2. Just a normal 40.1. That is my list, okay? If you don't agree with something I said, please let me know in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what you think. And also, if you ever want help with anything or advice, or, you know, just have a chat about Middle-earth strategy battle game, please do join my Discord server. That is in the description down below. Yeah, we've got a few people in there, and it's brilliant. You organise games if you want. You can talk about tactics, what army you should bring to things, or how to list build, anything. It's quite good. Other than that, I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.